Forget what you think you know about ancient history. Deep in the heart of Borneo lies the silent witness to the dawn of civilization in the Indonesian archipelago. This is the epic tale of the Kutai Kingdom, a realm shrouded in jungle and mystery, whose very existence rewrote history books. We journey back over 1,600 years to the Mahakam River Delta in the eastern province of Kalimantan. Here, long before other great Nusantara empires rose, lay the cradle of Indonesia's statehood. The river provided fertile ground and a crucial trade route, linking the inland resources to the sea. These were resilient people, adapting to the dense rainforest environment, forming strong communal bonds. They interacted early on with foreign merchants, particularly those from India, bringing new ideas and faiths. The formal establishment of the kingdom, known as Kutai Martadipura, marks the start of recorded history in the region. King Kudunga is recognized as the founder, the progenitor who unified these early communities into a single realm. Historical texts suggest Kudunga might not have fully adopted Hindu titles, indicating a transitional phase. He likely started as a powerful local chief, blending traditional leadership with emerging foreign organizational structures. The influence of Indian culture, especially Hinduism, was strong but still nascent during his reign. Kudunga laid the groundwork for his successors to embrace the full scope of Hindu-Buddhist governance. The name Kudunga itself is suspected to be of indigenous Indonesian origin, not Sanskrit. His reign bridged the gap between purely tribal societies and formalized Hindu kingdoms. Our knowledge of Kutai is almost entirely derived from the incredible Yupa stone inscriptions. These are 7 inscribed stone pillars, serving as sacrificial posts, carved in the Pallava script. They are written in Sanskrit, the sacred language of the Brahmins, detailing royal rituals and genealogies. They were first discovered centuries later, acting as vital chronological markers for Southeast Asian history. Scholars date these inscriptions generally to the 4th or 5th century AD, solidifying Kutai's ancient status. The Yupa specifically record major donations and sacrifices made by King Mulawarman. They are the oldest surviving written evidence of a kingdom in the entire Indonesian archipelago. They offer surprising details about the wealth, religious devotion, and administrative structure of the time. They suggest the presence of educated Brahmins, indicating a sophisticated religious and scholarly class. These simple stone posts stand as the greatest monument to the lost history of early Indonesia. Kudunga's grandson, Mulawarman, ascended the throne, ushering in the true zenith of Kutai Martadipura. His full adoption of Hindu rituals signified the kingdom's complete political and cultural maturity. He is celebrated as a powerful, just, and highly religious ruler according to the Yupa texts. His reign was marked by significant economic boom, likely driven by trade in gold, spices, and jungle products. The kingdom controlled the vital upstream and downstream traffic on the mighty Mahakam River. Kutai became a recognized stop on early maritime routes connecting India, China, and the Malay Peninsula. While details are scarce, prosperity implies security, suggesting effective protection of key trade routes. Mulawarman was a devout worshipper of Shiva, maintaining strong ties with the powerful priestly class. The Yupa detailed the spectacular gift of 20,000 cows to the Brahmins and the sacrificial fire. This immense offering demonstrated unimaginable royal wealth and profound spiritual dedication. This ritual, called the Vahusutta ritual, affirmed his legitimacy and divine right to rule. The presence of Brahmins and Kshatriyas indicates a clear Indian-influenced societal hierarchy. The royal capital city, known as Watek Marunda, must have been a center of administrative and religious activity. Though no structures remain, they likely used durable local materials combined with Hindu architectural principles. The Yupa list the dynasty, Kudunga, followed by Osmawarman, and then Mulawarman. Mulawarman's father, Osmawarman, is sometimes called the founder of the dynasty due to adopting Sanskrit titles. Osmawarman likely expanded the territory significantly before passing it to his powerful son. Mulawarman's era represents the pinnacle of indigenous Bornean Hindu civilization. It is probable that they maintained peaceful relations or held dominance over surrounding smaller tribes. Mulawarman remains the most famous figure of the Martadipura era, his story etched forever in stone. The populace relied heavily on agriculture, utilizing the rich Mahakam floodplains for rice cultivation. Hunting, gathering forest products like rattan, gums, and timber also formed a crucial part of the economy.
The importance of oceanic trade involved goods exchange for Indian fabrics and sophisticated metalware.
Evidence suggests skilled local artisans in metalwork and jewelry catering to the royal court's needs. Despite Hindu overlays, the original animistic beliefs and traditions likely persisted among the common people. Kutai displayed an early example of blending local spiritualism with foreignized religion. The Brahmins held enormous influence, managing state rituals and validating the king's divine status. The Raja was seen not just as a political leader, but as the cosmic anchor of the entire kingdom. The kingdom must have had an efficient system of tribute or taxation to amass such wealth. They built necessary infrastructure, like irrigation channels and river ports, to facilitate commerce and farming. The movement of people, traders, priests, and artisans, enriched the local Kutai culture. The community was deeply tied to the river, relying on it for travel, sustenance, and defense. The foundational identity remained Bornean, providing stability against external political fluctuations. We can infer vibrant artistic expressions tied to religious storytelling and court life. The prosperity described in the Yupa suggests a prolonged period of internal peace and stability under Mulawarman. After Mulawarman, Kutai Martadipura enters a long period of historical darkness, spanning centuries. There are few, if any, records detailing the kings who ruled between the 5th and 13th centuries. Historians believe the kingdom continued, but perhaps diminished, maintaining regional influence. The rise of powerful maritime empires like Srivijaya and Majapahit must have impacted Kutai's trade monopoly. As global trade routes shifted, Kutai's initial advantageous location may have become less central. It is plausible that dynastic disputes or local rebellions gradually weakened central authority. Despite potential fragmentation, the Hindu royal structure likely persisted for centuries. By the 13th century, a new power began to rise downstream: Kutai Kartanegara. Kutai Kartanegara, centered closer to the coast, was initially smaller and less prestigious. While Martadipura was Hindu, Kartanegara diversified regional power, embracing emerging beliefs. The shared name Kutai often leads to confusion, but they were distinct political entities for centuries. The two kingdoms engaged in prolonged periods of tension and skirmishes over territorial control. The Old Kingdom maintained its historical claim to legitimacy, residing further inland. The arrival of Islamic missionaries provided a new ideological framework for Kartanegara. Their coastal location allowed them to capitalize better on changing maritime trade dynamics. The later rulers of Martadipura struggled to maintain the glory and resources of Mulawarman's era. The inland position, once secure, now limited their access to crucial external funding and resources. Kartanegara, leveraging new wealth, gradually built a stronger military capacity. The long coexistence between the two kingdoms reached its inevitable breaking point in the 17th century. Only one Kutai could survive and dominate the Mahakam Basin completely. The ultimate destruction of Kutai Martadipura came at the hands of its aggressive neighbor, Kutai Kartanegara. The conflict saw Martadipura fighting not just for territory, but for the preservation of its ancient Hindu identity. Historical accounts point to a key campaign orchestrated by Kartanegara's determined leaders. King Dharma Setia, the last known ruler of Martadipura, valiantly led the defense of the ancient realm. Kartanegara employed shrewd military tactics, possibly involving alliances with other local groups. The capital of Martadipura was besieged and eventually fell, marking a definitive end. Tragically, King Dharma Setia was defeated and killed in the conflict, ending the Mulawarman lineage. Kutai Kartanegara absorbed the territories and population of the conquered kingdom. The victorious kingdom then rebranded itself, becoming known as Kutai Kartanegara King Martadipura. By adopting the name Martadipura, the new kingdom sought to inherit the historical legitimacy of the old. The former Hindu Martadipura territories eventually converted to Islam under Kartanegara's influence. The physical remnants of the Martadipura capital faded rapidly, disappearing into the overwhelming jungle. Much of the detailed history was lost, leaving the Yupa as haunting fragments of the glorious past. Kutai Kartanegara continued to evolve, eventually becoming a powerful sultanate that lasted until modern times. The kingdom that founded Indonesian civilization perished at the hands of its own regional successor. Kutai's legacy is paramount. It provides the chronological starting point for all Indonesian history. The initial blending of Hindu principles with indigenous Bornean culture established a pattern for later Javanese empires. These inscriptions are preserved today, serving as undeniable proof of Indonesia's deep historical roots. Kutai reminds us that the history of Indonesia began not just in Java or Sumatra, but in the heart of Borneo. The echoes of Mulawarman still resonate along the Mahakam. Travel through history with us again next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.